So we can get started here. Come to the front of your chairs so that your back isn't resting on the back of your chair, but that you're using your posture. I want to practice a little bit of posture here. So pushing your chest up and rolling your shoulders down and back. Holding this position, see if you can tuck your chin just a little bit. So like if someone had a string on the back of your head, and as they pulled up on the string, it just tucked your chin in just a little bit. This is kind of our preferred posture that I'm going to have us hold while we do a few exercises. So holding this position, keep with your chest up. Let's do slow head turns to the side. Turn as far as you can to the left. Turn as far as you can to the right. Go back and forth. Try to hold that posture while you're turning your head. We will do about 5 on each side in total. If you feel discomfort, don't go to the point of pain. Just go till you feel a good stretch. You can coordinate your breathing with it so that you breathe in as you go one direction and breathe out as you go the other. Breathe in, turning, and exhaling as you turn the other way. Let's switch to nodding up and down. Looking up, bringing your neck back, and then bringing your chin to chest. Keeping that tall posture as you move your head. Again, you can coordinate your breathing if it feels natural, breathing in as you look up and exhaling as you look down. Make sure to keep your chest tall. Let's do one more. I want you to put your hands on your stomach and we'll do some belly breathing together. So as you inhale, your stomach should rise. You should feel your hands lift up as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, your stomach should lower. So we're using our diaphragm, our deep belly muscle to breathe. So see if you breathe in, if you can raise your stomach, pushing out into your hands and exhale, your stomach should lower. It's forcing this muscle to work so that our muscles up in our chest that affect our posture and make our shoulders tight are relaxing, and we're teaching them not to work when we inhale. Let's do 5 more together. Breathe in, belly raises. Breathe out, belly comes down. Breathe in, push your belly into your hands. 3 more like that. Breathe in and exhale, belly lowers. Keeping your posture tall while you do this. Breathe in and breathe out. 1 more, belly raises, breathe in. Exhale, belly lowers down. Let's move into some power ups. So move your hands down to your thighs. We're gonna bend forward. And then power up, stretch your arms back. Each time trying to stretch a little bit further. Let's do 10. Down, 1. Down, 2. Down, 3. Down, 4. Down, 5. Down, 6, down, 7, down.
Ma'am, I'm unable to see you, ma'am.
8, 2 more, down, 9, down.
Hello, I'm unable to see you, ma'am.
So see, I think I should still be spotlighted. See if you're, I think someone said they can't see me. Double check that your view in the top right corner is set to speaker. I think it should naturally be pinned there for everyone. Did the person who said they're having trouble seeing, can they still see me? Did anything change? Can everyone else see me? Put a thumb up if you can see me. The person who just spoke up, are you figuring out the view there in the top corner?
Hey, Katie, you are pinned for everyone. So if they can't see you, it has to be something on their end.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of an easy tip to say. You could try, for the person who can't see me, you could try logging out and coming back in. You could see if that clears it up because it should be pinned. Well, I'll keep going. Let me know if that doesn't change. So keeping our tall posture that we were just practicing. Let's start a march. And I just want to do a small hand motion, bringing your arm up towards your shoulder. Let's do 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's do it a little faster now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're going to move on to a kick punch where you're kicking forward. So you're kicking your foot out and your opposite arm punches forward and then switching to the other side. So we'll start at a slow speed, 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 25 more, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Now let's pick up the pace a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Couple deep breaths. Breathe in, raise your arm up. Exhale, arms down. 2 more. Breathe in, look up at your hands, and exhale. 1 more. Breathe in, look up, and exhale, arms down. Our intervals today, I have modeled around transitions and mobility. So practicing moves, getting up from the ground, getting up from the chair in different ways. So I'm doing A-B intervals today, 2 exercises that will flip back and forth for 2 rounds. Let me show you the 2 exercises. So the first one, I'm just putting my chair back so I'm more in the view, will be a sit to stand, step forward with both feet, step backwards, and then sit down, and then repeat it. And you can look where your chair is. You don't have to do it blindly. So we'll stand up, step forward, step backwards, and you can always look where your chair is to sit. If you want to add a little bit of a challenge for yourself, you can put an obstacle on the ground in front of you so that when you stand up, you have to step over the obstacle. And then as you step backward, you have to step over the obstacle before you sit. The second exercise is on the ground. So I'm going to keep that camera view down and I'll move it down just a hair. So for this exercise, this is the second one. It will challenge us to practice getting up and down from the ground. I'm going to use my hand weights for this. And the move that I'm doing is I'm starting sitting back on my heels. If this is uncomfortable for your knees, you could try putting a pillow behind your hips so that it's resting on your calves. It'll just make it so your knees aren't bending as much. So from here, coming up into tall kneeling, and then doing an overhead reach with the weight. Then sitting back down, coming up, reach your arms up overhead. That'll be the same exercise, excuse me, that we'll be doing for that minute. So those are our 2 exercises. We'll do a minute of each, 2 rounds, a minute on, 30 seconds off to rest and transition to the next one. So we'll start with the seated exercise, the sit to stand. Adjust my camera view here. Go ahead and get yourself into position, and I'll get my timer ready. So we'll start seated for that sit to stand with a forward step and a backward step, practicing our transition immediately after we stand. All right, let's get started. Sit to stand, step forward, step backwards, and sit. Big stand, step over, step backwards, and sit. And you can always look where your chair is. You don't have to do it blindly. That's the full exercise that we'll be doing for this minute. Tall posture when you stand, and then an exaggerated step with how high you're stepping. Stepping backwards and sit. Big stand, big step forward, big step backwards, and sit. 15 seconds left. 5 seconds. 2 and 1. All right, we're transitioning to the ground for our tall kneel. So take your time coming down. Remember, you can step one leg down and then the other. I'm going to do this with weight. You can do it with or without weight. If you're seated, I want you to practice the overhead reach with your weight. 3, 2, and 1. We're starting back on our heels. Come up, overhead press, then back down onto your heels. Up, overhead press, back down on your heels. It looks like this if you can't tell. So I'm coming up into tall kneeling with the raise and then sitting back down on my heels. So it forces us to keep a little bit of balance when we come up into that position. Looking good, about halfway done. After this exercise, we're going back to the sit to stands. Keeping your posture tall, make sure to keep your shoulders relaxed. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to our chairs. We're gonna transition back to the sit to stand exercise. As a reminder, I'm bringing one leg forward. You can push on this leg or have something to push on to help you come up to standing. You can give yourself an obstacle to step over if you want a little bit of a challenge, or you can keep it as is, standing and then adding that step to practice the transition. 3, 2, and 1. Sit to stand, big step forward, big step backward, and sit down again. That's the full minute practicing this transition. Big step forward, big step backwards, slow controlled set. Good job, we're halfway done. Fifteen seconds. Good job, keep it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're moving back down to the ground for our kneeling. Take your time coming down. You can use support if you need to. Stepping both knees down. 15 seconds to get ready. After this exercise, we'll take a break and set up for our next round of intervals. With or without weights. 5 seconds. And begin. Coming up to a tall kneel, overhead raise, and sit back on your heels. Up tall, overhead raise, sit back. Nice job, everybody. Keeping tall posture. If your arms start to get tired halfway through, drop the weights and keep doing it just with the arms. Halfway done. Keep going, 10 seconds left. Looking good with posture. 3, 2, and 1. All right, come on back to your chairs. Take a breather, grab some water. While you're taking a break, I'll show you our next 2 exercises. I'm going to stay on the ground because our first exercise is on the ground. I'll give everyone a minute to get situated though. You don't have to practice these with me yet. I just want you to watch so you know what they are. I want to practice some crawling. Maybe I'll bump my camera screen down a little bit. So crawling the correct way is actually kind of hard to coordinate. And when I mean the correct way, it's moving your opposite arm and leg together like we do when we're marching or like the kick punch we did. So I want to do 3 steps forward. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 crawling steps backward. 1, 2, 3. So as I'm crawling, I'm moving my opposite arm and leg at the exact same time. So my right leg and left arm, then my left leg and right arm, back to my right leg and left. And then coming backward. 1, 2, 3. So those are, that's the crawling that we'll do for the first exercise. Both of these are going to be on the mat. The second one, this is the beginning of an exercise called the Turkish Get Up. So for this one, we're going to start laying down. One leg is bent, my other leg is straight, and the same arm is going to be up, or the same arm of the leg that is up. So my left leg is up, my left arm is up. From this position, I'm going to sit up like this. So I'm coming from laying down to pushing up into sitting. All right. So this is the first part of the Turkish Get Up. From here, see if you can push through your hands to lift your hips up. That's what this full move will look like. Sit up, do a little bit of a bridge, push your hips up, and then come back down. Okay, up, push up, and come back down. We're gonna build on that exercise in our next round, but I want to start with that small part first. If you're opting for sitting, the 2 exercises that you can do while we're doing our mat work, while we're doing the crawling, you can work on marching, opposite arm and opposite leg raises. And with the second exercise we did, it's called the Turkish Get Up. You can practice a power reach. So I'll show you that from a chair. You can practice reaching like we're doing, reaching up and across for the power reach, reaching up and across. If you're sitting, this is the move that I want you to work on. Each time trying to reach further. So we'll do 2 rounds of 1 minute each, like we did with our last round. So come join me on the ground, and we'll start with the crawling. And I will talk through that second exercise, part of the Turkish Get Up as we do it. It's a little bit tricky when you first start, and we'll stay on the same side for the full minute. Next time around, we'll get the other side, meaning keep the same leg up for the first minute. So let's get into position for the crawling. Thinking everyone's getting close. All right, I'm going to start my timer. So 3 crawls forward, 3 crawls back. Opposite arm and leg moving together. Nice job, everybody. Try to be really specific about the coordination that you're doing. Better get my timer down so I can see it. You're more than halfway done. Good job. 11 seconds left. And rest. 30 seconds to catch your breath before we head on to the first part of the Turkish Get Up. You want to set up on your back. Make your right leg straight and your left leg bent. You're going to have your left arm in the air. You still have 10 seconds to rest. And I'll remind you, we're going to do a sit up and then push through your hand to do a bridge, lifting your hips up and then coming back down. Go ahead and begin. So sit up, push through your foot and lift your hips up like this and then sit back down or lay all the way back down. It's okay if this feels funny. It could feel a little bit awkward. This is brand new. As a reminder, if you're sitting, I want you to do the power rock, reaching up and across. Then switch, reach up and across the other way. I want you to keep doing the power rock while we're doing this exercise. Sit up, do a small bridge, lift your hips up, sit back down, lay back down. Good job, everybody. Keep working through it. 10 seconds left. Three, 2, and 1. Let's rotate back over onto hands and knees. We're going back to the crawling. One more round of the crawling forward and crawling backwards. And then we'll practice that beginning of the Turkish Get Up on the other side. As a reminder, if you're staying seated, I want you to practice your marching. Opposite arm, opposite leg while we're crawling. So we're all practicing that opposite side or reciprocal coordination. All right, let's begin. 3 crawls forward and 3 crawls backward. If you're seated, practice that opposite side marching. Nice job, everybody. More than halfway done. Try to be really specific. Make the arm and leg move at the same time. Ten seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're coming back on our backs. We're going to try the other side now. So if your left leg was bent last time, bend your right knee this time. So my right knee is bent, my right arm is in the air, and I'm sitting up, and then I'm pushing through this hand to lift my hips up. Then I'm laying all the way back down. Sitting up, lift your hips up, and back down. 3, 2, and 1. Last minute here, then we'll take a break. Good job, everybody. I know this is tricky. If you're seated, practice that power rock. You are halfway done. Keep pushing. Nice job. You guys are looking really good. "12 seconds left. Three, two, and one. Awesome. Grab some water. I'm going to show you the next step of that Turkish Get Up that we just did. So we just did part one of it. I'm going to show you part 1 and 2 put together. So I'll give everyone a minute to sit down and so they can see the camera. So I'll show it from the side that I was just on. My right leg is up. So my right arm is up. The part that we just did was sitting up and then doing a bridge, pushing this leg up. The next part is lifting my left leg through. So now I'm coming into kneeling. And then my hand comes back down and my left leg comes back out in front of me and I lay down. I'll show you that again. So I come up into sitting, I do a bridge again, my left leg swings underneath so that now I'm kneeling. Then my hand comes back down and I use my hand to help support me to bring my leg through and then I lay down. If that is too hard to keep your right arm in the air, you could use both arms to do it. That's another option. So that's the next part of that we're going to practice in the next interval. The other one that we're going to do is in standing. I want you to put 2 obstacles on the ground, kind of at your sides. We're going to practice power steps over them. So if you want to position yourself behind your chair, if you want some support, that's a great place to do it. Otherwise, if you don't want support, you could just be out where you have some space around you. We're going to practice a big step out to the side, and I have a weight on the ground. So I'm over my obstacle and then stepping back together. And then I'm going to alternate and go the other way. Step out, step in. So if you're seated, that's the same thing you're going to do. You're going to practice stepping out over that obstacle and back in, stepping out over your obstacle and back in. If you're staying seated when we're doing the next part of that Turkish Get Up, why don't you practice the power twist? So arms start out wide, turn and clap. Arms start out wide, turn and clap. That's your seated option if you're not going to be on the ground practicing that next part of the Turkish Get Up, okay? 2 exercises again, 1 minute each, 2 rounds. This is our last interval today, and then we're moving on. So why don't we start with the power steps and standing? So come up into standing, either behind your chair if you want some support, or in front of your chair where you have some room. Exaggerated steps, tall posture are what I want you to focus on while we're doing these. Looks like everyone's getting close to being ready. People are getting up. Let's see. All right, I'm going to start my timer here. 1 minute. Big step out, big step in. Step out, step in. Nice. You can open both arms or just one. Exaggerate lifting that knee up. Looking great. You are halfway done. Keep stepping. Keep your posture tall. As you get tired, make sure that you're still lifting your knee high. Good job, everybody. 10 seconds. Open your arms wide. 3, 2, and 1. All right, I'm working my way back down for the second part of that Turkish Get Up. So we're going to stick to the same side while we do this. As a reminder, if you're staying seated, I want you to do the power twist while we do our Turkish Get Up. I'm starting with my right leg up, my right arm up. And when the timer starts, go ahead. You're going to come up into sitting, come up into a bridge, and see if you can bring that leg underneath and come up into kneeling. Then your arm will come back down, swing your leg through, and lay back down. We're coming up, bridge, swing your leg through, and come up into kneeling. Nice, you guys are getting it. Swing your leg through, and lay all the way down. Push up, bridge up, leg comes through, up into kneeling. Down, leg comes through, and lay all the way down. Up, swing your leg through, and come up. Keep pushing. All right, so we're coming back up to standing for that power step. Take your time coming back up. One leg comes up, push through that leg to step your feet together. All right. So I'm giving myself obstacles to step over. You can give yourself obstacles or not. I'm having them just kind of to my sides, or you can be behind your chair so that you're holding on. The option is yours. All right, let's begin. Exaggerated step. Coordinate your arms out, stepping out and in. Or you can do one arm at a time, but make sure at least the same arm that's stepping is going out to the side. The same arm as the leg that's stepping is what I mean. Back and forth. High knees over your obstacle or imaginary obstacle. Halfway done. Good job, everybody. "15 seconds more. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we have our last round. This is the Turkish Get Up on the other side. So now I'm using my other side. I'm putting my left foot up and my left arm up. When the timer starts, you're gonna lift up, bridge up, and swing that right leg under. You can also, I have a chair to my side. I can use my chair to hold on to give me a little more support if you need some more support. Go ahead and begin. Come up, bridge up, swing that right leg under so you're kneeling. Then push down, bring your leg back through, and lay all the way down. Way to try this with me today, guys. You're rocking it. If you're in your chair, keep going with the power twist. So if you're seated, I want you to do the power twist. Don't give up on me yet. Keep coming, there you go. Keep pushing, this is our last interval. Good job, keep it up. All right, come on back to your chair and rest, get some water. Good job. Way to try a new and challenging exercise with me. So grab some water. We are going to be back on our mats for all fours power moves today, but feel free to sit down and get some water for a minute. So we'll be doing our power moves on all fours, but I'll remind you of the modifications in sitting if you're going to stay seated while we do those. And then I have some core and stretch exercises in that position too. Get some water, catch your breath. Really nice job with that. And that is 3/4 of the Turkish Get Up. The full one would be once you're into standing, just pushing up from kneeling to standing is the last little bit of it.
Hey, Katie.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of myself. I did it.
Woo! Isn't that a cool new exercise? Good for you. Glad to hear that. And even if it was tough for you today and you couldn't quite figure it out, that's okay. Challenging your brain to move in a new way that it's not used to is the purpose of the exercise in itself, even if you couldn't figure it out completely, or even if you had difficulty with it. Working our brain and bodies in a new way is what it's all about. So get your last sip of water, and then we're going to get ready for our power moves on all fours today. As a reminder, I've showed this before, but if it's difficult for you to keep your balance in kneeling, a great option is having a chair or couch in front of you here and keeping your hands up on it this way. This is a really nice way to keep your balance if it's too difficult being on all fours. So that's a great option for you there. If it's hard for you on your knees, don't forget you could put a cushion under your knees. The first move that we're doing is our power up. My chair out of the way. So for the power up, we're bending down and bringing our arms back like this. So if you're seated, it's the same concept that if you're seated, I still want you to participate with us. You're coming down and stretching your arms back. Yep. All right, let's do 10 of these together. Nice and controlled as you come back down. 1, nice and controlled as we come down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we're moving into our power rock next. So for this one, I like to have my arms out a little bit more in front than they were the last time. So we're rocking back, sitting back onto our heels, and then keep your elbows straight and you're rocking forward, pushing your hips forward as far as you can where it's still comfortable. Rocking back and coming forward. If you're seated, the power rock looks a little different. This is the one that I mentioned during our intervals where you're reaching up and across. Yeah, and then switching to the other side, reaching up and across if you're seated. Let's count by 2s as we do this one together. But I want to start our counting at 15. So 15 will be our first one. Ready? Rock back. 15. Now we're counting up by 2s. Back. 17. Back. 19. Back. 21. Back. 23. Back. 25. Back. 27. Back. 29. Back. 31. 2 more. Back. 33. Back. 35. All right, we're moving into our twist. So for this one, reaching one arm up to look at your fingers and then tucking that arm through, threading the needle. And then I want to switch sides, reaching the other arm up and then threading the needle, shoulder comes down. If you're seated, your power twist is opening wide, turn to clap, open, and twist the other way. All right, if you're seated, you're gonna do the seated power twist. Let's do 10, let's count up by 10s, going back and forth each side. Ready? Reach up, 10, other side, reach up, 20, reach up, 30, reach up, 40, reach up, 50, reach up, 60, reach up, 70, reach up, 80, reach up, 90, reach up, 100. All right, our last power move is our power step. So you can keep your hands down, step forward, and then bring your arms up, and then arms come down and leg comes back. This is a great one where if you have trouble bringing your leg all the way through, try it with your hands up higher. It's way easier to bring your leg forward. So if you have trouble bringing that foot forward, try it in this position, okay? Otherwise, if you're seated, you're practicing taking that exaggerated step out and exaggerated step back in. Let's go back and forth. We'll do 10 all together. Let's count backwards at 3s, starting at 30. Ready? So step, 30. Now we're going backwards. Step, 27. Step, 24. Step, 21. Step, 18. Step, 15. Step, 12. Step, 9. 2 more. Step, 6. Last one. Step, 3. All right. We're going to do a little bit of stretching. So if you may have done this in a yoga class before. This is the cat-cow, arching your back up like a cat and then dropping your back down. This is the cow position. So trying to get a little bit of mobility and stretch through your spine, arching up and dropping down. If you're seated, you can try this with your hands just on your lap. See if you can arch your back and then drop it down while you're sitting with your hands on your knees. Let's do 10 together. Move real slow through this, feeling a good stretch. Arch up and drop down. Don't go to the point where you feel pain. It shouldn't feel painful. It should just feel real comfortable. Only move in a way that's comfortable for you. Arch up and drop down. If it feels good, you can even drop back into a child's pose after that. Arching up, dropping down, rock back. Arch up, drop down, rock back. Up and down. Moving slow and holding where you feel a stretch. Take your time with these. Let's do one more. I want to move into kicking your leg out And then bringing your knee into your chest, tucking your knee in and then stretching it back out. What this will look like in sitting, I want you to try that same concept. Stretching your leg out to the side and then see if you can bring your leg up and in. Stretching out and bringing your leg up and in like that. Out and then lifting that knee up as you come in. All right, so let's do 10 of each side. Let's stick to the same side before we switch. So we'll do all 10 on the same side. Move slow through this. This one isn't about speed. It's about keeping your back nice and flat and keeping your core stable. So drawing your belly button towards your spine. Let's get started. Kick back, bring that knee all the way in. 1, kick back, 2, kick back, 3, back, 4, back, 5, back, 6, back, 7, back, 8, back, 9, back, and 10. Let's switch sides here. You want to keep your back super flat through here. Like if you set a glass of water on it, the glass of water wouldn't tip over. Ready? Kick back, pull that knee in. 1, back, 2, back, 3, back, 4, back, 5, back, 6, back, 7, back, 8, back, 9, and back, 10. All right, I'm gonna have us come up into kneeling. We're gonna do a twist with weight. Let me adjust my camera. So you can do this holding on to 1 or 2 hand weights. If you're seated, you can also do this with weight. You want to keep your posture tall and holding weight up by your chest. We're going to twist from one side to the other, keeping posture tall. And if you're kneeling, keeping your hips forward. So not letting your hips come back like this, but you want to keep your hips up and forward, holding that posture tall. Let's do 20 twists here. Tall posture with or without weight. Twist your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, let's switch and bring one leg up in front of you into this half kneeling. And now we're gonna do a chop. I'm just gonna use one weight. You can use both depending on how heavy it is. And if you're seated, you're gonna do the same chop with us. So I'm gonna reach up to the same side of the leg that's up. And then I'm twisting back down to my hip on this side. So rotating my shoulders as I come up and come down, trying to keep stable. Let's do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides, bring your other leg up. So now we're lifting the opposite direction with our weight, keeping our posture tall, chest up, shoulders down and back. 10 more. 1, just down to that side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, make your way back to your chair. We'll finish with a cool down. Grab some water, get settled. Finish just with a little bit of stretching, cool down our muscles, bring down our heart rate. Start with a big breath in. Arms down. Arms up, look up at your hands. Arms down. One more. Big breath in. Exhale, arms down. Bring one arm across your chest. Pull that shoulder towards you, and let's do some wrist circles while we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch sides. Arm across your body, pull your arm towards you, and that same arm is going to do some wrist circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring your ear down towards your shoulder. Let's stretch your neck. This hand's going to pull down. This hand can tuck behind your back. You want to feel a good stretch right through the side of your neck here. Let's hold for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Roll your neck to the other side and switch your arm placement. We'll hold here for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Roll your head back to the middle and roll back up. Scoop forward in your chair. Let's stretch your leg out. Reach down towards your foot. Keep your knee straight. Hold here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Roll your ankle out, switch sides. Keep your knee straight, bend towards your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come back up tall. Big reach forward, pull your arms out in front of you and roll back, stretch your shoulders back. Couple more like that. Reach forward and roll your arms back, stretch those chest muscles. One more, reach forward and back. Put your wrists out in front of you, a couple more wrist circles here. Both directions. All right, we shall finish there for today. Thanks for being here with me this morning and working hard. Appreciate it. Fun to spend my morning with ya.